My children are starving. Please help. My children... thank you. I'm listening. Thank you, kind. All right. I've heard Edla Darkheart was once an assassin. Yes, the vampire hunter. As far as I know, he just showed up recently here in Bruma. Not only that, but he already found a vampire among us. Apparently, Braden Lyrian was one of those vile creatures, and Raynil slew him. It's kind of strange, though. I never figured Braden to be a vampire. He seemed to be such a likable fellow. He's a fairy tale. The Imperial... Of course, it's all... Blessings of mist... Tara upon ye.
You're going to have to leave. This is a crime scene, and no one other than ourselves or Raynil Draelus will be allowed access. Yes? That's not bad. I suppose there's no harm in telling you what happened. Word is bound to get around Bruma anyway. Turns out that Braden Lyrian is a vampire. Or was. If it wasn't for Raynil Draelus, we may have never uncovered the truth. Let me explain. In the last week or so, we found 2 bodies stashed in shallow graves outside the city walls. The bodies had puncture wounds on their necks. The bodies were those of some beggars who used to wander the streets looking for handouts. Vampire probably thought no one would miss them. Luckily for us, Raynil arrived in town. He said he was a vampire hunter, so we asked for his help. He tracked the vampire to this house. When he entered the place around noon, Braden was sleeping. He was able to slay him at that point. Luckily, Braden's wife wasn't home. Poor thing. She didn't even know her husband was infected. We did a follow-up investigation, and it's true that no one recollects seeing Braden out in the daylight. He's only been spotted at night. I'm afraid there's not much more to tell you. So you can see we really don't need any help. But thanks for the offer. As far as I know, he was a good man. I never saw this coming. But vampires are masters of deception, so I guess it makes sense. I'm impressed. It only took him a day to track the vampire down. I guess that's why he does it for a living. What are you looking for? Frostcrag Spire has been uninhabited for so long. They say it was as wondrous as the arcane
Please,
Feel free to question.
I can't believe... Please, I need your help. My husband was no vampire. It's ridiculous. No one will listen to me. Forgive me. I loved my husband dearly, and to lose him this way makes no sense. Anything you can do to help would be wonderful. This is all happening so fast. I came home only just a few hours ago. I found the door open, and my Braden dead. Standing over him was a Dunmer. I screamed and ran out into the street. Some city watch were nearby and heard me, I suppose, as they arrived quickly. I heard the Dunmer identify himself as Raynil Draelus. He said he was a vampire hunter and that Braden was his mark. The guards seemed to know about Raynil, and after a search of the house, the body of some beggar was found stashed in our basement. The guards sent for Carius, who is an investigator for crimes here in Bruma. In minutes, Raynil convinced Carius that Braden was a vampire. Well, of course it does. It was obviously planted here. Why would he stash a body in his own house? That's ridiculous! And another thing, the guards are making a big deal out of no one seeing Braden out in the daylight. Well, of course that's the case. He works at night and has to sleep during the day. Why does that make him a vampire? It's all that Raynor character. I don't trust him. The thing that bothers me the most is that I swear I've seen him before. Of course, he says he's never been here. There isn't much more to say. Please, help me clear my husband's name. I have no idea where he'd be. Just find him and...
Isn't anyone
I
in
know I sound
town?
desperate,
I shouldn't
but
give you too much
I know
trouble.
I'm right.
There's a charge in the air. Been casting some destruction spell?
Hello. Hello! What can I do for you? I know I may be out of line by saying this, but I think the city guards may be wrong. It's hard to imagine Braden was a vampire. I could have sworn I saw him outside in the daylight before. Unless he just got that disease very recently, I'd say they were mistaken. When I heard Raynil killed him, I didn't know what to think. But after your visit here, I'm beginning to wonder. I usually don't give out that kind of information, especially to people I don't know. Go ahead. That's very good. Raynil's staying in the last room down the hall upstairs. Here's the key. I always liked Braden and Arlene. They were a nice couple. I hope you get to the bottom of this, because I don't believe he was a vampire either.
I take it you want something. Well, what is it?
Hafid Hollowleg says the Gerald view... has...
It's a good place to stay. Hafid is quite a good
You look
proprietor.
like a bright one. Uh-huh. What can I do for you? Galaborn? That's odd that you should mention that name. Raynil told me that he was the last vampire he hunted. Yeah, that's right. Somewhere in Skingrad, I believe. He said he tracked Gelborn down and killed him. That's apparently why the guards trust him so readily. They had gotten word from Skingrad's City Watch about Raynil and his so-called accomplishment. And nothing else I can tell you about him. He comes... Just look for me if you need anything else. Hi there.
There's been some terrible trouble, chap.
Oh, you're back. So, any new revelations in you? How'd you know about that? Too many people don't know how to keep quiet about official matters. Very well. The Skingrad City Watch informed us that Gellerborn was killed by Raynor not too long ago. Gellerborn was a vampire as well, obviously. What do you mean you disagree? It's a bold statement. What proof do you have that Gellerborn was not a vampire? Then don't now. Keep up the,
Hello. The Fighters Guild is recruiting again. Not a bad way to meet somebody.
Whatever I can do. Hello.
How do you do? How are you?
I understand the Fighters Guild is hiring new members.
How can I help you?
Oh, so... What? I don't know what to say. It all makes perfect sense now. Why else would Raynor have removed this journal from the crime scene in Skingrad? I heard no mention of a key either. It must have been removed by Raynor from Braden's body before we arrived. To think that 2 innocent men were killed, and that I'm responsible for one of their deaths, I'm speechless. I will rouse the guard and begin a search for him in the city. Meet me at Olav's Tap and Tack in 1 hour.
Do you have any... Yes. I remember Braden mentioning that name once. He was part of the Brotherhood he had created with Raynor. I know I sound desperate, but I know...
Willing to train others, but it can cost more than a few gold. So long.
What's your story?
I understand the Fighters Guild is hiring new members. Not bad work
hello.
for some folks.
Uh-huh.
Hello.
How does Ulfin
Just before I arrived here, I received a report from one of our scouts watching the roads. Raynor was spotted heading west out of Bruma. The scout tried to follow, but lost him in the mountains. The only cave to the west that comes close to the one described in Gellerborn's journal is Boreal Stone Cave. That must be where he's headed. You must get there before he acquires whatever artifact is being kept there and makes his escape. I'm keeping the city guard in Bruma, as Raynor doesn't know we're after him. If he sees a guard, he may panic and run. You're my only hope at the moment. Please, you have my authorization to do everything you can to bring him to justice. If he won't surrender, I think you know what to do. Hurry. I fear you have a day at the most to stop him.
May
Please
the
hurry.
wind be on
Good
with
afternoon.
you. Do
Make
you
a
know
break for
anything
the
about...
It's you.
Good day. I'm Tolgan, herald to Countess Narina Carvane here in Bruma. She requests your company at your early... Countess Carvane would prefer if you speak to her in person. She also said to present you with this stipend as a taste of things to come.
My lady holds court from 8 in the morning until 6 in the evening each day. That would be the best time to see her.
The Countess is in attendance from 8 o'clock in the morning until noon, and then again from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 8 each day. If you wish to seek audience with her, please return at that time. You're also welcome to wait anywhere in the Great Hall. Good day.
Tidings, citizen.
I fought black crabs once. Hail, good citizen. Hello, citizen. I hope you're faring well in these difficult times. The Emperor is dead. Stay safe, citizen. These are dark times.
Congratulations. I had a feeling you would catch on sooner or later. Leaving that journal behind was a stupid mistake on my part. I saw you enter Olav's tap and tack before I could get there, and I knew that I had to sneak out of Bruma somehow. It was only a matter of time before you or Carius figured it out. No matter. After I've killed you, I won't need my vampire hunter ruse any longer. Certainly not. I'm surprised Carius didn't send the entire city watch up here. But then I would have seen that coming, I suppose. I expected to lay low here for a while and then be on my way. So again, I underestimated you. This leaves me with little choice. Either I fight you now and have a chance at freedom, or I surrender and rot in a city dungeon. I prefer the chance for freedom. Yes, I suppose it is. Well then, we've talked enough. Only one of us will walk out of here alive this day. Good luck.
Oh. Go ahead.
Yes?
What news do you bring? I knew I recognized Raynal. I think when I first met Braden many years ago, he introduced me to him. They were part of some sort of brotherhood. They would roam Cyrodiil in search of legendary treasures and the like. The only reason he stopped doing that is because we got married and he wanted to settle down. I'm afraid thanks to Raynal, that time is lost. Long ago, I made a promise to Braden. I promised to never reveal to anyone what I'm about to reveal to you now. However, because you've avenged his unjust death, I feel that Braden would understand why I'm breaking that pact. Braden told me about this amulet when they first brought it home from whatever distant land it came from. He never really trusted anyone else in the group, and before he secured the treasure in that cave, he had a special enchantment placed upon it. The magic masks the true identity of the item. All it takes is a simple command word, and the amulet would be restored to its true state. No, he always feared this day would come. He left me knowledge of that word in the event that he died, and I came into possession of the keys. If the other members of Braden's group were still alive, and I on my deathbed, only then would I pass the knowledge on to them. If you'd give me that amulet, I would like to show you what you've recovered. Thank you. I will now speak the word, Brotherhood. Here is the amulet back. It's as beautiful as it was the day I remember seeing it long ago. I want you to keep it, as I have no use for this anymore. I'm certain that's what I want, and I'm certain that's what Braden would want. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope that the amulet helps keep you safe on whatever roads you may travel. Justice has been done.
Always a pleasure.
Good evening.
What?
Well, hope it suits you. I'm glad that scum got...
What's going
Hope
on
to
with...
see you
I've
again
heard that
soon.
the
Nords of Skyrim have been warring.
Hello.
Tidings, citizen.
Always a pleasure.
Well met, my lord.
I've heard much about your deeds from my people in Bruma. I trust the stipend Tolgan gave you whetted your appetite. Good point. Allow me to formally introduce myself. I'm Countess Narina Kavain. I assume you've noticed all the Akaviri relics I'm displaying. Well, it's safe to say I'm a collector of sorts. I've invested a great deal of time and money acquiring these bits of ancient history. In fact, I'd be so bold as to proclaim my collection the most complete in all Cyrodiil, perhaps even beyond. Except for one thing. A particular relic has eluded me for many years. Possessing this piece of Akaviri antiquity would make my collection complete. I'm of course referring to the Draconian Madstone. It's a matter of trust. The stone is a fine bit of Akaviri craftsmanship. Worn like an amulet, this talisman is said to protect the wearer from poisons of any type. The Madstone appears as a snake coiled around and encircling itself. The eyes of the snake are supposed to be precious gems or some such. Through my sources, I've learned that the last reported location of the Madstone was the ruins at Pale Pass. Are you familiar with the history of Pale Pass? Back at the end of the First Era, raiders from the continent of Akavir attempted to gain a foothold here in Tamriel. At that time, the Empire was broken into smaller factions. Raymond Cyrodiil decided to unify them and form an army to repel the Akaviri raiders. The force became known as the Army of Raymond. The two armies clashed in what's now northern Cyrodiil. The Akaviri were strong and well supplied. But their greatest error was marching through Morrowind on the way to their objective and dismissing the response it would garner from Vivek. They didn't count on Lord Vivek forming an alliance with the Trident Kings of the Dreg. From Morrowind, he struck at their rear flank. Not only did this make the Akaviri fight on two fronts, it also cut off access to reinforcements and supplies from the sea. You must be joking, right? Who hasn't heard of the greatest known hero of the First Age? Raymond Cyrodiil not only was the conqueror of the Akaviri forces, but he actually convinced them to help build the Empire as it is today. With such an empire at his disposal, he conquered most of Tamriel, except Morrowind, of course, and was crowned emperor. In fact, he instituted the rites of becoming an emperor, which included the construction of the Amulet of Kings. His alliance with Lord Vivek during the Akaviri invasion is just one example of his cunning and ingenuity. Not quite. The army of Raymond knew that the organized Akaviri forces were commanded from a hidden post in the mountains. Rumors placed it in a snowy vale called Pale Pass. That's where Raymond focused his attention. As his forces fought their way across the Gerald Mountains, the Akaviri suddenly surrendered. It was assumed they were overwhelmed and gave up. The only strange part was that the command post and Pale Pass were never found. It was dismissed as a rumor, and the army of Raymond celebrated. It's come to my attention that the post did exist, and it happens to be the last reported location of the Draconian Madstone. If you retrieve the Draconian I had a feeling you'd accept. Good. Then let me tell you how you're going to find the Madstone. I've come into the possession of a diary, written by an Akaviri messenger. I suspect that the text within can lead you to the ruins. Here's a translation of the passages we could still read. It was quite damaged. I've also included a rough map that was drawn in the diary as well. I'm also providing you with a unique key that was supposedly found with the diary. I'm assuming it'll prove useful when you arrive at the site. I paid several scouts to try and find the ruins at Pale Pass before I hired you. They were only able to locate the first of a series of landmarks. These landmarks are mentioned within the diary. The one referred to as Dragonclaw Rock has been located. I'll mark it on your map. The rest is up to you. My scouts reported bitter cold and dangerous creatures in the area, so they couldn't proceed. Be cautious and return home soon. Good luck. May the path ahead be free of danger.
I'm so...
Hello.
Ah!